Tube. Oh my goodness. It's been a while. It's been a minute. Hold on. I just that. Oh, anyway, it's been a while. It's been a day. As you can see, I was going to leave it as a surprise. But I finally have a much better area to do videos, to do content, to do things, to do my work assignments for college. I've cleared this all up. I've moved some things around. I got a new desk for Christmas, an IKEA desk. It was like $100. It's pretty good deal. Okay. So it works. And now we have like a better area to be filming, to be doing things instead of dealing with like the shakiness of me actually just balancing my computer or whatever I'm using to film um, on blankets, folded blankets. That was my tripod, you know? But now I have a chair. It's not the most comfortable. Like if I sit on this chair long enough, it makes the back of my legs itchy because of the texture of the chair digging into my skin and causing weirdness with the blood circulation. But we've got all this going on. Ideally, though, I have some things coming in to give it a bit more because this is not working for me. First of all, we're putting more posters in this bitch. There's no way. Like, these are kind of outdated. I had to whip out the perfect blue poster. I think Satoshi Kon is such an amazing director. I think he's wonderful. So it's a shame that this is the only poster of one of his movies, like that I have. Well, of his movies that I have. Like, ideally, Paprika would be like scattered somewhere up there, and then Tokyo Godfathers would be right there. That was one of my usernames for some time. It was fucking great. Album cover. Is that your goal? Not exactly album covers, but there will be some music things, and of course, it's not going to show that I have the best music taste. Well, why am I dissing myself? To me, I have good music taste, and I think that's all that matters. Like, for example, I'm having some My Chemical Romance, which that's the goats right there, emo goats, even though they don't really classify themselves as emo. And I'm also gonna have Panic at the Disco, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, and ideally, I'm gonna find a nice, pretty odd poster to put up on this bitch. You know what I mean? Like, um, and I've been getting into some new media. I feel like the reason I get into different media is like for more an aesthetic kind of reason, like so that I can have the rights to do cosplay. I can have the rights to make videos on it. I can have the rights to decorate my walls in it. I got into Chainsaw Man lately. Yeah. I can't believe I slept on it that long. Goodness gracious. There's no way. Like, of course, I went into it with hella spoilers. Like, nothing shocked me, which I'm fine with that. But at least I have context to those spoilers. So I was trying to read the manga, but it's like I can't find a website that doesn't start off at like chapter 3, chapter 6 sometimes. So, and happy new year to you too, Lizard Lounge Radio. Like that name. Nice name. I like lizards. So, yeah, got into Chainsaw Man. There will be hella posters here, but not hella posters, like maybe one or two, Oh yeah, and by the way, to the rest of you up here, Happy New Year. Goodness gracious. We started off this year with a bang, didn't we? Like, wasn't this quite the way to start off a year? Trump is such a funny dude. I can't believe we got a fucking like in a previous life was a drag queen, but like low key a stand up comedian. That's low key a fascist. Is a fascist in office. I can't believe we did that. Like, do you know how crazy it is? What's your New Year's resolution, Mr. President? Peace on earth. Not even a week later, the president of Venezuela has been kidnapped. And I mean, all power to them. Like I'm so glad that the Venezuelans can be happy. I think it's good for them to have like max a month of happiness out of all the time that they've had Maduro in office and that he's been fucking shit up for them. So again, I'm not the most informed. Hell, I'm barely informed on Mexican politics, and those are my people, you know. I'm not the most informed on Venezuela. I this is gonna sound bad, but like I feel like it's okay to say this. I never really thought about Venezuela when it came to Latinos and Latino countries. And I think that's fine. I'm sorry. Like, not that I don't care, like, about Venezuelans. I think the lives of all Latinos are important, but they were just never top of my. I was worrying about my own people. Selfish. Yes, I know. I know. I know. But I'm happy for the Venezuelans that they get to celebrate for again max a month before, you know, we, because that's our taxpayer dollars going into it, take their resources and we get gas for like 3.25 again. Sorry, no sé qué les puedo decir, pero like this shit just happens, you know. I'm glad that they're out of, you know, like they got rid of this fool that was ruining shit for what, like how many years, decades, or I don't know. It was a lot. It was a long time coming. Um, but I find it really concerning that people think that this means permanent freedom. When has the US ever liberated countries, like legitimately liberated countries out of the goodness of their heart? I want people to really think about that. But again, of course, I am understanding to the fact that the reason people are celebrating is because that's just how dire the situation in Venezuela was. And that's why, you know, they are celebrating the fact that he was, um, you know, captured. I say kidnapped, but you grown. I'm kidding. Of course, those can be can be kidnapped, but this was a capturing. They captured his ass. And New York, that prison in New York has to have one of the most insane rosters ever. We got Luigi Mangione. We got Maduro now. And every now and then they could just hear they can attend an R. Kelly concert. Do you guys think that R. Kelly is in prison going, "Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots?" Like, fuck R. Kelly. Okay, like full stop. Like, I hate that man. Unfortunately, that man could sing. In the words of someone who has probably said this about me, the worst person you know can sing. And it's like, pff, shit. They already appointed a lady in. Oh, they got, oh, okay. Okay. Maybe Venezuela's going to be all right. You know, maybe they'll be fine. Maybe they'll be fine. They had to go the Sheinbaum route, you know? I'm surprised by Mexico, by the way. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It was so shocking to me. Like when I saw that Sheinbaum was running, the only thought I had, they won't let a woman drive their buses, let alone be president. I did not know that she had that election in clutch, like in Mexico. Like they don't like women doing anything except cook, clean, and shutting the fuck up. That's all they really do. But then I realized that most of the Mexicans I know are from the rancho. I don't really know any liberal Mexicans that weren't already born in the US and then were raised in Mexico for some time. I don't know liberals like that. I don't know Libby Mexicans, let alone no, wait, that's wrong. That's wrong. For what it's worth, despite having very traditional views, if you sit down with your Mexican relative of over 40 years old, you will hear the most leftist rhetoric ever. I'm saying that it's this, and it's just like healthcare should be free. Healthcare should be more accessible. You know, the money that we give to the government should not be used for international affairs. It should be used for, you know, the people, and the people should have more control. That's kind of what I mean. But they will never favor capitalism for the most part. Kelly had a good voice. He did R&B though. He did R&B. So like He's saying, who are there any rappers in the New York State prison? Unless Luigi Mangione has a SoundCloud we don't know about. Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. Shit. But damn. Maybe Venezuela will be all right. Like maybe Trump is turning a new leaf, maybe. Even that don't sound right. That doesn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. It really doesn't. It doesn't. Trump turning a new leaf. Are we dead ass? Are we serious right now? Are we genuinely like? I don't think politicians are capable of that, and that's not bad for me to say. Let alone one that was a businessman at that. Yeah, no, I still think there's gonna be some Venezuela kind of meddling there. And before anyone says it, I don't think I think that a Dem doing this, and we've seen it before with Democrats, it would lead to the same kind of thing, because it's really not about the people. Might be less financial. I need that one. Where are you that you are paying $1.80 for gas? And are y'all looking for tenants? Like I started to drive last year for legal reasons. I'm going to say I started to drive in April. They're not gonna do anything to me for driving unlicensed, are they? Because if they are, I never did that. Actually, I never did that. You pay $220, but I'm wanting that 180. You paying $220, where minimum right now we've been seeing $360, but before that it like you weren't finding a gas station that wasn't giving you gas for like $4.50. That's very like I'll take $220. I will take the $220 for you. No, but I've been driving since then. Yeah, gas is a burden. Matter of fact, there's a lot of things burdening about having a car that they don't really tell you about. What do you mean I have to pay for my plates every year? Luckily, my car though, it's been fully paid off. It's a used car. I don't have to worry about car payments, nor do I want to worry about car payments ever. There's some things that I feel like if I have an option not to pay for this, I won't pay it. The same thing could be said about a house, but I don't know how I feel about living in my car or Skid Row. I don't. So like that's one of the payments where it's like, okay, yes, I will endure, because I have to. But a car payment, if I can not pay my car, if I can fully pay off a car, which I'm not at that point financially, income wise, it's not happening. Or if I could just buy a used thing, that runs well, I'm going with that option. So pay for my plates, pay for gas, which has been what I do is I just kind of don't even look at the cashier when I slide that $20 bill to them. It's like, and whatever I can get with $20, that's fine. That's fine. I don't really care. No. What else do I have to pay for? Oh, my car. My car needs some repairs. Yeah. So yeah, you got a used car and it runs well, right? And it doesn't like explode upon, putting the key in the ignition. That's cool. Your car's gonna have a lot of things that you're gonna have to fix. First things first, my headlights. I have to drive with high beams on. My headlights don't work. My headlights are as effective as if you were to have a flashlight, but like just put your hand over it. Not even like the finger, like that. There's no light coming through. They don't work, is what I'm getting at. I am a risk on the road to myself and to others. Yes. But we're gonna get them. We're gonna get these headlights in. I have the money to do so. So my dad decided that I'm gonna give you some grace this year, mija. I will pay your plates this year. But that is it. And I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, because the headlights are significantly less than paying for your plates. And especially in the upcoming year, because the whole thing with getting a smog check, I'm what a thing. But at least I don't gotta take the bus. I don't care. I don't care if that makes me sound like some sort of classist or something, or like I think I'm with my pinky out here as I sip my coffee because I'm dissing the bus. I do not like getting on the bus. I hated it. Do I know my way around the city now that I've been on the bus? Yeah, and I am grateful. I'm grateful for that. By the way, I don't think anyone really likes getting on the bus. Like, I don't know a single person that's like that, and if you know a person that's like, they're lying to you. Um okay, maybe they're like enjoying the fact that they don't have to drive. I don't like it. Let's put it at that. Actually, fuck it, I am gonna tell you guys one. It was on the when you're on the bus, you don't get to pick who gets on the bus with you. Okay, you don't get to pick you don't get to pick a lot of things in life. Okay, and that's one of them. Who gets on that bus? Because and also the bus drivers, they don't really care who gets on that bus. It's not their job to do that. Which is crazy though. They won't kick someone off who is clearly like intoxicated and in being aggressive at the entrance of the bus. But they almost did not one time in high school. It was like the last week of my senior year. I was running low on money, right? The bus thing was like $1.75, and I had $2. And I was like, I don't I, I'm feeling stingy. I don't I want to keep my 25 cents. You know what I mean? Right? Right? Because I'm trying to save money. Anyway. And then I'll go waste my money on shit I don't need. So I was like, I only have $1 to the bus driver. And I was nice about it. Like when I speak to strangers, I speak in a very calm and soft voice that's disarming, you know. And I'm like, "Oh, I only have $1 to give you, if that's okay." She looks at me and she's like, "You're not getting on the bus then. Just step off my bus." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, fine. I'll just give $2, but then like the 25 cents, and then she's like, just put them in." And I was like, okay. Over $1. Over $1. Yes, I easily could have just, cut my losses and said goodbye to 25 cents. But like, I didn't want to do that though. I didn't want to do that. But I didn't argue about it either. I was not. I'm never in a mood to argue with people who work certain jobs, people who work in fast food, people who work like driving the bus. I don't want to argue with you guys. I don't know what it's like being a bus driver, but I've seen some shit and it's like, oh, no. But let me tell you, instead of getting off topic here, why I refuse to get on the bus. There's so many weirdos on the bus. There's so many weirdos on. I mean, there's no way around it, and it's usually like guys. I mean, again, let me put this out there. I believe in equal opportunity. I know that anyone is capable of being like a big old pervert at any gender, age, race, whatever. But it's usually dudes that are like at the age that you should be making enough to have some form of transportation that's not the bus. But that's just I think I'm not woke, okay? But as I was saying, they will be the creepiest towards you. Um and unfortunately nowadays, like I am not physically, I'm not in a place where I can say I'm 17 with this kind of smile on my face. No, if I tell someone I'm 17, they're not buying that, okay? But that would help me a lot. Um Another time though, I was headed home late and I had to take two buses at this time. The second bus, this guy gets on like a stop away from mine or whatever, and he's drunk. Okay. And he's already like kind of like pressing this one little boy. It was this tall kid, but like that looked like a kid. That looked like a high schooler. I don't know. And I felt bad and I was kind of like, why are you like yelling at him? He didn't do nothing. Like he was just standing there. He was like waiting for his stop to come up. And then out of nowhere, like he just decides, okay, I'm gonna go focus on her now. Me. So he goes to the back of the bus. That's where I like to sit. Okay. Like, because I could just, nobody really sits there. So I'm just kind of like leaning back, all chill or whatever. He comes and he sits right next to me and he starts saying, "Oh, I'm very pretty and this and that." And he offers me a sip of his beer that he has in a backpack. And I was like, "No, thank you, sir. No, thank you." You know, like being nice. Okay. Like I'm not in a position to be a bitch, and especially here because you never know. So it's getting closer to my stop, okay, where I gotta get off, and I'm like, we're almost out without any incident. Then he starts saying like don't be mad at me, but I'm like kind of looking at your legs right now, and I'm like, oh, hmm. Low key, that's something like I could have I should have had my sweater like kind of covered up. I know that now. Like yeah, like oh victim, don't victim blame you. I don't know, man. Like I'm just kind of like I would like it if people weren't creepy, but at the same time, it's like I could have done a little something to like prevent that one liner there. So I was like, oh, okay, right. Like I had to do one of these. By the way, this entire interaction is it's like nobody gave a shit. Nobody was, and there were people sitting in front of me, other people sitting like in the back row of like the LA Metro or most buses. I'm not sure. It's like this big row of like 4 or 5 seats. I think it's 4 seats. So there's people like two people or something all the way at the edge, and this fool's like exactly like sitting right next to me and shit. Okay, and so after that comment a few minutes pass and now we're finally at that place, like finally, and I get up, he grabs my arm and he's not trying to let go, and I'm like, oh, excuse me, excuse me, like he was in your way and not just going like that. And so I'm kind of like like that, and I get the fuck off the bus. There's no way. I was a bit shaken up after that because like yeah, I've had people just be creepy, but not one that was like, like you're staying here actually, like you're gonna walk me home really. No, that was a first for me, but then after that it's I kind of got over it. But the make long story short, I'm okay with not having to take the bus, and I'm actually willing to pay the things for my car to be running so I don't have to take the bus. It was not fun. It was not fun. But again, that could have gone a lot worse though, because I've heard horror stories on the bus. Like my boyfriend told me one time, this is what he says happened when he was working like early shifts in the morning. Like I don't know how people have this angry energy at the ass crack of dawn. We're like at 4, maybe 5 in the morning. I don't know. The earliest of the bus runs, that's when it happened. You just have the energy in you to do this. So he gets on the bus, right? And he tells me that he saw a man pull a gun out on another fool, like just to threaten him. But like no one did anything. I mean, again, you wouldn't really do much considering that person has a gun, but like nobody, just another day for them, except the dude that was getting threatened with the gun. They kind of just sat there and like, yeah, like what, again, what can you do? Nothing. I don't know how you have that kind of energy. Like, I don't know how you can be on that kind of timing at like 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't know. The point is, regardless of what time it was, I know that it was way before 6 a.m. I don't know how people have that kind of energy to be this angry, to have the energy to pull out a weapon on a metro bus. That, and for no reason apparently, because the guy was just as confused as everyone else was on that bus. He was like, "Yo, like what are you doing?" Apparently, again, I was not there, and thank God I was not there because I would have been fucking panicking. Yeah, no, no, I'm good, guys. And then also, a lot of body odor accumulates on those buses, and I'm fine. Like I'm okay. Like if I'm gonna be in a vehicle that stinks, it should be because I did like I'm leaving shit in my car that's gonna make like this horrible smell. I don't need the smell of other people. I just don't really like people like that. Like in my proximity, like that close. It's not. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Surprisingly, though, granted, granted, I was only there for like 3 days when I went to New York. Had a much better experience on public transport um in New York than in LA. And I feel like if someone from New York came to Los Angeles and like took the different forms of public transport that we have available, they would feel the same way. And that might be me being ignorant, but like I feel that it's because people don't really rely on public transport in Los Angeles, so it is very easily neglected. Whereas in New York, people of many different income levels, they use public transport because everything is that it's you don't really need a car to make your way around like New York City, at least like the major cities. Like so they try to, better make things a lot better there. I don't know if that makes sense. But here, if you go to like on public transport in Los Angeles, you're just like, oh my god, I have never seen something more neglected in my life. It, I like being in LA. That is just not one part of it I'm okay with. It's not fun. It is so not fun. Oh my gosh. Whereas in New York, though, I went on the subway, and that's about it. I never went on the buses, or I did not go on the buses, but I took the subway a few times. It was it was so fun. It was kind of fun. Surprisingly, I didn't see a single rat in New York, which would have been a major problem for me. I have the worst phobia of rodents ever. I do not like them. Oh my god, I don't. I don't even like thinking about them. I don't like rodents whatsoever. I'm kind of cool on mice. Like mice, okay. If I see you, I will confuse you for a rabbit if I look at you a little longer, as long as I don't really look at the tail, because the tail is what like gets me the most. We'll be fine. Okay? Everything that is rats and possums, I don't like. And I don't like that they're feeding me like the red Kool-Aid, the poison, the whatever the saying is of like this propaganda to be pro possum, and it's like no, I'm okay. They are scary, okay? The two interactions I've actually had with possums are nothing like the cute little possums you see like on your reels or YouTube shorts or TikToks. It's not like that. No, they're disgusting. They're gross. There are people who have domesticated them though, and those are the ones that come up. And of course, an animal that's domesticated is going to behave a lot better than one that's like in the wild. But the two interactions I've had with possums, three, the last one doesn't really count, but I thought it was kind of funny. It kind of made me like, ew. Was the first one, my dad used to live somewhere where it was near like a highway, right? And so like on the slope of it there were like all these trees and all these things and like this sewage kind of area. It was just, yeah, that's kind of nearby to where he lived. So a lot of those kinds of animals would make their way from there because like the coziness of having all the trees and the leaves and the sewer areas. So in the same day we see like three big ass raccoons just running down the street, which by the way, raccoons are kind of cute, but like if I'm not expecting to see a raccoon, it kind of scares me. I don't know. I don't know why I felt so scared seeing that, like the three raccoons, because they looked so big. And it's like, why are they that big? They look like baby bears. And it kind of creeped me out, but like I'm chill on raccoons. However, we saw a possum there, and the possum decided to go near my dad's car door, like on the passenger side. I sit there. So I look out the window and this shit opens its mouth and hisses at me. And it was disgusting. I was like, oh no, I'm not opening this door. Actually, I'm gonna stay in this car for the rest of my life. Second interaction with possums, and this was entirely our fault. Let me preface this. This was that was on us, but yes and no. Um My family, they don't well, like most of our family, they don't really believe in the concept of indoor pets. If it's an animal, animals belong outside. And I'm like, okay, fine. But like, if you're sure that, there's nothing that's going to get into the backyard where you have the animals and harm them, that's fine. And especially not babies. So we had a bunch of kittens from this cat that we had. Then those kittens ended up doing some AO3 shit, and like, they ended up having children of their own. And so one night we're hearing a bunch of meowing, and we're like, well, we know they just had kids, but why are they meowing like that? And so they go outside. That piece of shit possum mauled one of the baby kittens, one of them. I was so livid, but I was like, this could have just been, this was entirely preventable, by the way, entirely preventable. And then kind of just stood on top of the other ones. Oh, we had to like scoot it away. It was horrific. It was I mean, I didn't see it, but I know my siblings saw it and my grandfather saw it. Again, entirely avoidable. This was the most preventable thing ever. I will never have any, like, personally, me, if I decide to like, oh, move away or something and have hold on, let me get my computer charger because this shit is dying. It is dying. If I ever decide to have like pets of my own, like when I get my own place, they will be indoors. I don't care. I don't care. There's no way that I would ever allow, and especially like something like a cat. Like I feel like a dog could hold its own, except if it were like what, like a little chihuahua or something. I feel like a dog has a better chance against a possum, because possums are violent, they are deceitful, they are rude, they are ugly. No, no, they that whole thing. Oh, it's playing possum. That's synonym for playing dead. They play dead, and they play dead pretty well. I don't like that. I don't like that, because as soon as you think it's over, that shit's just gonna jump at you. I don't like it. I don't like it. Why am I describing like possums the way that like the way that you've seen like in like interviews, how people talk about King Von? Like he had the opportunity to kill me. That's how I'm talking about the possum. Mm. What else don't I mess with that people like that are like typically considered pests? I really like chinchillas. Chinchillas are also rodents, and I really like guinea pigs too. They're cute. I'm okay with those. They're adorable. They're little babies, like, you know. But a possum, no, I'm okay. I get something is so, I don't know what happened, as like in the first English class I took in college, they were going through this whole thing. We were reading Fight Club, so a lot of things regarding Freud and like the unconscious mind were getting brought up, and they were talking about like fears that you have, and it's like it's something probably happened in youth, where now like if you see this thing that kind of remotely resembles it, your brain like makes that link between the two, so now you're scared of that thing. So like, for example, you're scared of like tarantulas or whatever, like spiders, but that's probably because as a kid you saw like a fuzzy thing, like let's say like a little like web of like thread or something that resembles that. So now you're scared of anything that's like fuzzy like that. So tarantulas being that way. But I feel like if you're scared of a tarantula, it's because it's a fucking spider. A big ass furry spider. Yeah, no. But something like that. What led to me being so scared of rats? Because I can't tell you that I can link that. Like the only interactions I've had with like mice or rats or anything related to that, immediately it was something that I had already like feared. Like I was already like scared of it. Like I didn't even build up to that. There was no experience with the rat that was like or like, oh, like now I'm scared of it. No, it was just automatically I saw a rat and there you go, I was scared. I don't know what it was. I don't, and that fear has not gone away whatsoever. Like it hasn't waned at all. I am just so scared of them. It's not even funny. I live in an area that sees like that we get a lot of like wildlife like that. So if you're seeing shit like raccoons and possums, you're gonna see rats at some point. And they might even get into your home. So and I'm the only one that sees it. So I feel like I have some sort of like psychoactive disorder. Just need something to listen to. Hope you're doing good. Thank you so much, Quentin. I hope you're doing well, and I hope I'm like providing like that kind of podcast feel with my amazing conversation topics here. And no, but I'm the only one that sees them. I don't know why. So whenever I point out, oh, I see a rat, I sound like I have like some kind of like some kind of psychoactive disorder, like schizophrenia or something, where I'm like hallucinating a rat, and it's like, there's nothing there. Yes, there is. And then people treat me like I'm fucking crazy. Oh my god. So recently, this happened last year, like, and not even like, I want to say this happened in maybe November. No, way before November. Oh my god, when the fuck did this happen? This happened during the summer, if I'm really thinking about it. Ooh. So we had just gotten a pint of ice cream, right? So everything was not a pint. That was more than a pint, like a gallon. I don't know. But we had gotten some ice cream, and I was like, I'm going to make myself a sundae because we also had brownies. Okay. So I was going to grab some utensils that we have, because I wasn't going to wash a dish to enjoy a sundae. I'm not doing all that. So we have like these paper plates under like this little cabinet. I open it. I dug down. The minute I open it, like just, I have never slammed a door harder or faster in my life. Even at my angstiest of teenage years, I never slammed a door that hard, slammed anything like that. Like, no, that door went and I screamed. I had a moment to scream and I slammed that shit so hard and like started to place stuff in front of it. And my sisters were annoyed with me. Like, they were like, why are you screaming? And I was like, there was a rat. I saw it and nobody's going to tell me otherwise. It ran so fast across my face. And then when they checked, of course they didn't see anything because I'm the only bitch imagining rats up in here. Like, I can't, I refuse to feel like I'm crazy in my own home. Okay. So we call my dad up and he helps seal like the holes that there are in the house, because I'll be damned if I see another rat. Like, I can't do rats. Like, no. I refuse. Oh my god. There's no way. I don't like them. Hopefully I wake up one morning and I'm like, guys, I'm actually not afraid of rats. But there's so many things that I will not do just because of my fear of seeing a rat. So, at like the second house that we ever lived at, right? My dad, he loved to do gardening. Like, he was hitting up Home Depot every weekend to get some new flowers for the yard and stuff, and he had it all nice, which is cute and all. But the problem is, he wanted me to help out with that shit. Do you know where the rats are hiding in the backyards? It's not in plain sight. They're hiding. It's within the flowers, within the bushes. And I'm like, hey, Dad, I love you, but I will never work outside in the yard with you. I will never do that. Of course, I didn't have a choice. So, we had a cat, though, an outdoor cat at that time, who held her own pretty well. Like, she was fucking those shits up. Like, she, like, with no issue. She was essentially the way that people viewed King Von to those rodents. Like, it was just like she was getting rid of them left and right. It wasn't even funny. Like, the way that it would work is when we had that cat, her name was Paloma, because she was this little white thing. She looked like a paloma. Like, is a paloma a dove? Point is, she was so nice and all that. her having children did not stop her from being as aggressive as she was with those shits. And like, I have a cat now, and that cat, if a rodent were to come here, she would play with it and then let it continue terrorizing the home. She would not do anything to stop that. So there you go, you know. But this cat, no, she would make sure that you just found, you know, bits of the rat everywhere. Like, yeah, she would play like puzzle pieces with the rats. So like, you would walk out in the yard, and the way that it would work is, oh, look, on the step, that looks like the rat tail. Okay, take a few steps. That looks like a hand. Oh, there's the head. That's how she was operating. Effective. Almost made me sympathetic towards the lives of rodents. Like, I shit, like she did a good job with that. She kind of ate that. Like, we had another cat. Yeah, useless, disgrace. Um, didn't do shit for us except be cute, but like, that can only do so much, you know. And especially if we have you for the purpose of doing something. Good lord. The cat that I have now, though, she doesn't do shit either, but like, she's adorable, so she can get away with that because we don't really have anything for her to do. Like, yeah, she's just kind of chilling here. In fact, we work for her, really, as you know, God intended, for cats everywhere. Yeah, she doesn't do shit for us except like provide us like dopamine and shit. But every time I'm having a bad day, I look at my cat and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, I should not be having a bad day. This is what life is about, you know. She is so cute. I love her so much, so much. Yeah, it's our decor, to be honest, to some extent, because I've never seen a decoration that will let you know if they don't fuck with you. Like, there is no amount of like interior design kind of objects that will like automatically let you know they do not want to see you right now. My cat will let you know right away. A matter of fact, sometimes you can't even tell because she won't even let you look at her, especially like with strangers walking in the home. Like, every time that my dad is here, she's already gone. She's already found a place to hide. Not that my dad would like ever do anything, but she automatically just doesn't. She doesn't want to deal with that. Which is so weird. She does that with everyone that has not lived in this home for like maybe like 4 years. I don't know. She's not about that, you know. Nice shirt. Thank you. I'm not going to this university. Would I have loved to though? Yes. Is it expensive? Yes. Would I get scholarships? I don't think anything has a higher power except, you know, my God above. But do they have a certain amount of control over me and the other people that are like minded? Yes. Just because like, when you see that face, it's like, I can't say no to you. Because they're so cute. Like, I love having a cat. Having a cat is so great. I love my cat. My cat is everything. And then it hits me like, oh my God, wait, the lifespan of a cat is like 15 years. And it's like, I hate that I have to think about that now, actually. I kind of don't want to think about that, really. But of course that does come up every now and then. My sisters and I have decided when my cat goes, we go, because there's no way. Like, we've lost cats before. Okay. We used to lose cats quite a lot, and it wasn't because of anything we did. Either they would get illness or they would just run away and not come back. And that was typically after they had kids, because back then we would not spay them. So they would go off and mate and then decide, my work here is done, bye, and then leave. So, you know, losing a pet is something else. Oh, we don't even play. Like, it's always so depressing and so difficult. It's like, fed up wife rants about cats. Yeah, because that's the only one that's the only thing that might put up with her. Fed up wife post annulment, because they didn't really divorce. They just got that shit annulled. She don't play about her cat. She would get a cat. And she would have it as well taken care of as she would have her daughter, who she loves dearly, because she does love her daughter immensely. She would kill for her daughter. But she would also do the same for that cat that she later buys. Yeah, she would have a cat. 100% have a cat. And it would, what kind of cat would she have? She would have like this like really like plain faced like Siamese cat. That's what I'm imagining for Fed Up Wife. Like a beautiful Siamese that's like kind of like this is gonna be a horrible way of phrasing, but kind of looks bitchy, and she would love that cat to death, and that cat would love her to death. She'd go on a nonstop rant about cats. Cats are the perfect animal, actually. What's your sign? Off topic. I'm a Gemini. Matter of fact, I think I have my full birth chart, just not here. But Gemini. And it's so obvious. Like, I feel like most people that like have tried to like guess my sign, like it's more than likely they're going to guess an air sign or Aries. Something about an Aries. Thankfully, no one has ever assumed that I'm a Leo or a Scorpio. I do not like them. I do not like, and no offense to anyone here. Like, I like some Scorpios and Leos. And by the way, yes, I know it's all pseudoscience, but I think pseudoscience prejudice is kind of fun to entertain. I don't know. It's like, oh, I don't like those dirty Leos. Like, I think that's kind of cool. Like, I'm okay with that. Same with MBTI. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. But of course, I don't take it too seriously. But I'd like to notice the patterns. I'm very into statistics in that way. You know, I'm in theater, by the way, so it's like that doesn't even add up. So much trauma with Gemini. I feel like Gemini looks for that trauma though. I don't know. Like, I know for a fact, hence my most recent upload that dropped like 17 minutes ago. I knew that like, you know, keeping certain things around certain people, certain whatever, I knew that if I kept like these things in my proximity, it was going to be harmful. But I kind of kept denying that to myself, because for now I was okay with everything. And now as a 21-year-old, I am bitter. And it's like, you had so many opportunities to like get rid of shit like that was not working for you, and you didn't. So I'm saying I didn't want that smoke, but I kind of kept it around. You know, I didn't open a window for that smoke or anything. You know, you live and you learn. MBTI though, that kind of came and went. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I don't really see people looking at like MBTI or anything like that. So what happened with that? Like, people used to be so into that and like finding a good personality test. People don't really do that anymore. I'm not sure why, but that thing with like zodiac signs, that has not died down like at all. I wonder if there's something new that people are using that's like pseudoscience, like to like assess personality. I'm really wondering what is going on. Back when, like for me at least, and by the way, that's always changing. I think that's why, because it's never consistent. Like with personality and things like that, like based off of actual events, I feel like that's why MBTI, like the hype about it. You have great personality. I'll be around when you upload. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. That means so much to me. But mind you, this is entirely curated for you guys somewhat. Like, I can be genuine, but I can never be too genuine, because that's scary anyway. And that's me keeping it real, really. But to MBTI, like that one, personality is always changing based off of different events and different stages that you are in life. But that whole thing about you were born on this day and the planets were aligned in this, it feels so much more spiritual. So like, I think that's why that one has just such a hold on people. Like, it has such a grip, and it's been having a grip on people for the longest of time. You know what I mean? Like, if only that stuff was real. Like that would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? Let's see. Let's see. Kind of want to look at MBTI stuff now because, like, whoa. Get this off my screen. Okay. You're offline. Check your. What the hell just happened? My internet was kind of waning a bit. Why would that be? What is going on? Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna go to personality database. I used to love, like, back when, like, in 2021, early 2021, and I was really big on Danganronpa, and it was like, um, I would love to see which characters, not just for Danganronpa, but other things that I was into, have my MBTI type, which I don't think changed, but it probably did, considering I feel very differently about a lot of things than I did back then. But which ones had the same kind as me? I, at this moment in time, am an ENFP, extroverted, intuitive, like, is F like feelings based, like kind of like that, instead of like thinking, and then perceptive instead of like judgmental, something like that. That's kind of what that means. I don't know what changed. Really, I don't know. I feel like that might have changed though, because let's put it like this. If I go to personality database, which is what I used to use to find these things, 300 ENFP characters you'll relate to. Um, I would go through that list and be like, oh my gosh, guys, that's literally me. Guys, that's me. Guys, that's me. Um, yeah. I don't know anything about Genshin Impact. Venti, no. Naruto, no. Jinx, I really don't give a shit for Arcane. Mello from Death Note being an ENFP does not. I'm gonna. Matter of fact, I don't. There's one of them in that game that I did not like too much, and I fear it might have been her. Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. That is not an ENFP. I cannot see that being an ENFP. So I can't say that I relate to Howl too much. So Lucifer Morningstar from Hasbin Hotel. Can we stop with Hasbin Hotel? Like I'm so over it. Genuinely, I'm like, oh my god, Hasbin Hotel. What are we gonna do with you? I feel like I should stop talking trash about it because it might not be that bad. You know, I feel, fear or feel both that it's one of those cases where it's like My Hero Academia, where the the media itself is not bad and it's probably really good, but it's the fan base that is associated with that. Because again, it's like Danganronpa. Like if you really like strip down Danganronpa to where it's just the games and things that are made by the okay, maybe you don't want to do the same thing with Ultra Despair Girls, but which by the way is not that bad. It's not that bad. It's questionable at times, but again, it's a Danganronpa game. You're going to find questionable shit all the time. Um, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. I think it's actually great. I think it's great. And I finished reading the novel or the manga graphic, whatever you want to call it, for Ultra Despair Girls. I think it works much better in this format than if you're playing it. I think, in my most humble opinion. And whoever is illustrating this does such a good job. Like, it's so cute. I love it so much. I really do. You will never catch me hating on Ultra Despair Girls. And if I'm ever hating on Ultra Despair Girls, assumed I've been kidnapped because there's no way. So yeah, but Has Been Hotel, I'm not sure if it's like that, and so I can't really speak on that. ENFP character, Sato, Katsuro. I haven't watched Evangelion in a bit. I wasn't that into it. Yes, I was back when. So maybe again, I don't know. Some shows and shit like that I've watched are so genuinely forgettable. Evangelion is not at all one of them. I just wasn't that into it. I didn't dedicate that kind of energy to it. One that I will say, and I feel like I might catch some flack for saying it, that was absolutely forgettable for me, was Sword Art Online. I don't remember a single thing. I know the premise of Sword Art Online. I did not care for it. Matter of fact, I've only seen like one season of it, and that was it. And I spent time watching that, and I don't remember anything that happens in it. It was so genuinely forgettable for me. I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm fine, you know? And maybe it's like, well, you watched it a long time ago. Of course, you're not going to remember some things, and especially, that's not true. I watched it back when I was like in middle school. I watched Death Note around the same time. I've not forgotten a single thing when it comes to Death Note. I love Death Note. I think Death Note is one of the best animes. But then again, I don't really watch anime like that, and I probably should, because a lot of the people I know, like, that could be a conversation topic, but it's too much time to dedicate to that. But then again, I kind of just sit in my bed and I don't do shit. So it's like, you have time, Clara's like, you have time. Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony. I see that. That's me. That's me. But specifically the episode where she's all depressed and her hair's all straight and shit. And it's like, damn, that's not her. That's not her. I want to be Pinkie Pie so bad, but it's really not. It's nah. Who Tao from? I don't care for Genshin Impact. I never did. Star Butterfly immediately. I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't care for that show. And did I watch the show? I don't care for it. Junko Nishima's an ENFP. No, she's not. 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 And this list is called 300 ENFP characters you'll relate to. What is relatable? You strike me as someone who would enjoy Angel's Egg. It's a wonderful movie. I will look into it. You know what? I will look into it. By the way, chat, being like the streamers, chat. If you do have anything for me to get into, I cannot guarantee that I'll get into it quickly, but I'll get there at some point. I'll give it a look, more or less. So y'all check that one out. You know what I haven't really found enough of, because it's not a niche genre. It's just not really like an explored genre in anime. It's horror anime. Horror anime is like really hard to come by. I did watch Blood Sea and I liked it. I haven't really seen any other kinds of horror anime. I would like to. I would really like to. So if anyone could come through with that kind of stuff, please let me know. Please let me know. So I find this list funny though, because ENFP, yes, there are different kinds of ENFPs, but they're typically like, when put in like fictional kind of like media, like in games or TV shows or movies, they have a very specific kind of personality. So it's kind of funny to see Junko Nishima as an ENFP linked directly under Princess Rapunzel from Tangled. Sure, man, whatever. Karen Smith from Mean Girls. That's not me. That's not me. Um, Jules from Euphoria. I can see that. I can see that. Um, Kanye West. Oh boy. Never mind. I am an ENFP. No. Mirabel Madrigal from Encanto. Okay. Anna from Frozen. See, characters like Anna and well, a lot of like Disney princesses and stuff like that. Those are like your typical ENFP, even though most of them are not ENFPs. But like when you think of them, like the cheery, upbeat, and all that, no, I'm okay. Michael Scott from The Office, I can see that. Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Wait, all of the iterations of Peter Parker or just Tom Holland's? Because again, it's only a picture of Tom Holland. It's not like just the picture of Spider-Man, but Peter Parker. Wait, Peter Parker is just Tom Holland's. I don't know shit about the MCU, and I'm kind of glad that I don't. That is not something I would want to waste time on. And if I was to waste time on the MCU, it would only be with Spider-Man. That's the only one. Is it? No, it's not. Wait a minute. There's different Spider-Mans that are not Peter Parker, right? Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? I'm not making that up, right? Very ominous vibe, if that counts. Horror elements. I would fuck with that. Queer experiences through horror and elements. Oh boy. I gotta get into that. I'm gonna take note of that actually. Yeah. I am taking note. Let me get my phone. Oh, good Lord. Hold on. What else are you live on? Just YouTube, but eventually I do want to start streaming on Twitch. But at that point, I fear that this is not like a Twitch appropriate kind of like setup. You know, the way that I view Twitch is like this is like you should have better streaming etiquette and a better setup. So it's kind of like going to like a black tie event in your sweatpants, the way that I'm streaming right now. But then again, it is just Twitch and whatever. But eventually I do. So for now it's just YouTube. I should start streaming on TikTok though. We might have to do that. Guys, I have so many things going on. I'm looking at my notes right now. Good Lord, let me not. Ew. Have so many things that I like have for ideas, but oh my God, the amount of time that's gonna take to put into production. Production, mind you. Let's see. Angels to watch. I hope it works out for you. I'm sure. Thank you so much. I hope so too. And I know that I'm fully in control of that. Like I really ultimately the one thought that I've had, and I feel like I should have really had this kind of revelation years ago, is that I am really in charge of my own destiny, that kind of thing. Like I never really, like I've heard of that concept, but I never really put it into practice. But really, most of the things I want in life, not like in, of course, there's some things that you can't avoid happening to you or stuff like that. Like, of course, you're not in control of everything, which is another thing I kind of had to learn. But most of the things I want that I have like set up as goals for myself, they're goals for a reason, which means I can put in the work to do that. So yeah, hopefully I will find it in myself. Let me not spit everywhere. Ew. Anyways, hopefully I find it in myself to like put the steps forward to get to where I want to be. Let's see. Angel's egg. Okay, Angel's egg, and then I'm working on a lot of little video ideas, like just so that my Taco Cat channel, everyone subscribe, even though I really don't post shit on there. That I want to make videos on. Like I do this thing where it's like trash rants, where it's like I don't make video essays, but I do talk a lot because I feel like with video essays you have to have something of value to say. So, and I don't really have that. Like I really no, I don't. I just like to talk about shit. Like I can analyze things, different media that I consume, like on my own terms though. I'm in my own time and I don't have to face any form of criticism. I like to avoid criticism as much as possible. So no video essays, but they are trash rants, and I have a few that I've got in mind. So right now I'm working on one specifically targeting Gundam Tanaka from Danganronpa. Then I have one about Five Nights at Freddy's and how the whole thing it's not. Yes, the premise of a game where children are being murdered and stuffed in animatronic suits, that's, I would say that's not realistic, but you never know how sick people are. But like the entire thing of it, the concept of allowing your children, like parents continuously taking their children to places where it is run by the same company and on the exact same grounds as when where there were already people dying and being put into animatronics. It doesn't make sense. We've been going over this, like the span of Five Nights at Freddy's, when you're really looking at it, it takes place like before the 80s, okay, to like 2020s, like 2023, give or take. So that's a problem for me because that means that parents were knowingly taking their children to this evil ass establishment with no problem. And then on top of that, the idea of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, that is like if Horror Nights decided they wanted to make a house based on John Wayne Gacy. That's like, are you guys like hearing yourselves? Based on the disturbing past of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, based on the past of a place where children were murdered. What are you guys talking about? What are you talking about? I would be running that boycott Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Facebook group like the Navy if I were those parents. There'd be no way. I made that little quip before, but I just wanted to say it again because I really would. I would make sure that nobody was taking their children there. I would be out there like the people that were boycotting El Super, this one grocery store, where they were handing out flyers of this picture of like a rat running around the produce. I would be there like with just flyers, handing them out to parents before they even dared enter the establishment. And what were they gonna do to me? Probably kill me too. But like, I died for the good fight, really, in that case. So that, and then I had a new video idea. Okay, so it's that one. That one. Of course, I cannot stop talking about regular show. I cannot. I will continuously talk about that. This is like that one like Moist Critical video where like the title is like nobody cares, but I'm talking about this anyway. Every time that I open my mouth about regular show or anything for that matter, but regular show, it continues to piss me off. Everything about Mordecai continues to piss me off. Like I cannot. And I already talked about everything to do with Mordecai, so now I gotta find someone else. It's gonna be Margaret. It has to be Margaret. It has to be Margaret. And of course, I don't dislike her as much as I dislike Mordecai. But what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm not going to say too much. Just, I'm gonna save it for that analysis that I have. But you can tell when a creator, like, okay, how I feel like it worked in JG Quintel's mind, the creator of the show. We already know that Mordecai is a self-insert. That, and I don't blame him. If I were to make a show, you know damn well that the main character, the main focus of the show would be me. Okay? Because it's my first show that I'm making, right? Who else is gonna be on that roster of characters but me? Like it, I know myself better than anyone else. But of course, with that, you're going to want to defend everything that that character does. Like I'm supposed to side with Mordecai, but at that, it also comes with anyone associated closely to that character, like people that specifically the character that the creator really wanted it to work out with. We have to cut her some slack. No, Margaret is also kind of fucked up for everything. Like she's not completely innocent, but like I don't think that she deserves as much flack as Mordecai does. You can tell that the creator really, really liked the idea of Mordecai and Margaret together. But the way that both characters were written, it does not work for me or for anyone else watching. Which is why I'm pretty sure they even introduced CJ in. They made it so that, he just didn't end up with any of them, because it's like, it's not what the fans want to see, really. And yeah, everything with Margaret. How does someone that's not really like fully fledged out as a character, or fledged out at all as a character, affect so much in another character's life to the point where it's even fucking shit up? That doesn't make a lick of sense to me, actually, like, at all. So, I do think, though, by the way, with as much critique as I have, I think J.G. Quintel did an amazing job, and all of the other writers on Regular Show, they did a great job at writing for other characters and writing episodes. And by the way, I don't hate the space season. And I think people that hate the space season are boring. I do. I really do. I'm sorry if you didn't like it, but I just think people like that are kind of boring. I thought it was something new. Like, I liked it. I enjoyed it. A little bit, the Pops thing kind of came out of nowhere, but you could tell that they were kind of building up to it. Like, with those who have who have eyes to see, it wasn't entirely out of nowhere. If you're good at like just connecting dots like that are kind of not there, yeah, I kind of saw it coming. Like, I feel like the minute that we saw that this dude had a car that could fly, it's like, okay, this isn't like, yes, wacky shit happens on Regular Show all the time, but like, there's gotta be a deeper reason for Carmelita. Like, come on, like, let's really think about it here. Yeah. But of course, I will say though, the last 2 seasons of Regular Show were not planned whatsoever at the beginning of the creating process. And if they were, I cannot tell. Because again, it wasn't the best developed, but it still kind of works. Anyways, back to Margaret though. Yeah, no. That's not working for me, her character. I don't even know why we had her. Why did we have her there? By the way, they did not give us any time to actually care about them together as like a couple, Mordecai and Margaret. They just showed us like in the fucking Stake Me Amadeus episode, right? They just show us like little moments of them going on dates. And mind you, that wasn't even his girlfriend at that point. They weren't actually together at that point. They were just going on dates. So why do we get a... It doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. They never actually got together. And so all of this shit for a woman that you are not actually with. Margaret couldn't even make up her mind. Oh my God. Like, what is it with these characters being so indecisive? I get it. I'm an indecisive person, and that's relatable. But I'm not that indecisive where I'm like struggling to make a decision where, it's on the most obvious thing. Like, my God. The indecisiveness of these characters can only be so relatable for so long. And then it gets to a point where it's like, this is just not like, this is an unforgivable amount of indecisiveness. Like, now it's just like, the point of this character right now is to fuck shit up for plot. And that's not enjoyable at all. Oh, but there's another video idea I had, right? Now that I'm watching Chainsaw Man. It's a little far-fetched, but just the parallels of the Chainsaw Man universe to baddies. And I'm gonna let that one marinate a bit. I'm gonna let that one marinate. Because they are there for those with eyes to see. Yes. We are talking about the parallels between the Baddies universe, Baddies, that one show, and Chainsaw Man. That's what we're talking about. That's going to be one of my video ideas. And if anyone makes a video about it, before me, I'm going to assume you're a fan and you're here because I put those dots together. I was having my lunatic like ramblings about it. Okay, like I cooked this idea up. Okay, and I have notes. I have notes, of course, as all important things should have. Wait, what the fuck? Where are my notes? I think they're on my computer, actually. Yeah. So they're not linked. So my notes are on my computer. Um it's kind of crazy, like where you can find go girl, you make those videos. I will. You know what? Ruru, I will make those videos. I will. I already started editing some of them, so it's gonna take a while. But this one I've been sitting on for a minute. Like the way that this idea started though is in the funniest way ever. So I do use Twitter. It's not like a public platform for me, but I stayed doom scrolling on that. So someone that I follow, like we follow each other, they tweeted out, I saw a picture of Natalie Nunn in Makima cosplay or just like edited to look like Makima, and now I can't find it. And I'm like, hold on. At that point, I hadn't like really been watching Chainsaw Man. I did read a little bit, but again, it skipped me hella chapters because that's how these free manga reading websites work for some reason. So I'm like, wait a minute, but like from what I've seen, the shoe is fitting, okay? The shoe fits. And then it wasn't until I started watching the show that I was like, this is her. In fact, it would not shock me if I believe the writer's name is Fujimoto decided to heard about baddies and decided, you know what? This is a great place to start. Can you imagine the creator of Chainsaw Man sitting down and just watching Baddie South and being like, right. Because the way that I see it, okay, the way that I'm seeing everything, Makima is Natalie Nunn, okay? So that being said, Denji is Scotty with the body. Scotland Ryan. Yeah, Scotland Ryland. That's Denji. And it works out. It works out. Scotty has a dog named Capri. That's Pochito. That's Pochito right there. Is anyone going to tell me that I'm wrong? No, you're not. No, you're not. It's not going to happen. No, because I'm right. I'm right. The way and their dynamics, they're dynamic. I have never found a more beautiful parallel. This feels like even like an even like I probably like the way that I felt making that like parallel like connection in my mind is probably how the person who connected like the fact that all these movies like Black Swan and Inception take a lot of inspiration from Satoshi Kon's movies, like in terms of certain shots. Yeah. Oh yeah. I felt like whoa, like such a genius, like I felt like I was on another like existential plane with that shit. Like, and I have legitimate notes. Like there is so much with their dynamic that is just like I could make a video on this. And again, I am not saying that Chainsaw Man is at all related. I'm just saying that the similarities are there for those with eyes to see. So it's there. Who would Aki be? Roly? I think I haven't really worked on that one. Like who is who when you're going from baddies to Chainsaw Man. Yeah. Yeah. So who would Power be though? Who would Power be? Because Jayla would not be Power. I was going to say Anna Mac, but that don't even have another idea for Anna Mac. Yeah. How do we feel about making Big Lex the Gun Devil? I'm just like, let's just put that there. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I'm not that far into it, but like, just from what I know so far, yeah, that. But the point is, Natalie Nunn is Makima, and then Denji is Scotty with the body, and nobody's changing that. Like, everything that I'm working outside of that could be complete like horseshit, but nobody's going to take away that from me. That is, and I'm not gonna go into that because again, I'm saving that for the video. Like, I have legitimate notes that are being taken here, based on the dynamics of both pairs. If only I put this energy into a job application. Oh my god. I would probably be streaming off of a PC by now. You could be right. I would love if I was right. Like, if I called that, do you know how crazy I would be moving? But I highly doubt. I just cannot see Fujimoto sitting down and watching the season of Baddies South all the way up to like Baddies. No, Baddies West. You know, like when Natalie beats the shit out of Scotty, that was the most like Makima and Denji kind of thing. But specifically, like the way that you see it most is in Baddies South. Like, that is like peak Makima and Denji right there between the two of them, because it's, oh, actually, wait, no, I'm getting into it. Oh my gosh, I'm getting into it, and I need to save it for the video. I need to save it for the video. But no, like that, the way that I was just cooking, I was watching, I was like, like I was just typing it up, and I was so happy, like that my brain would make such a connection, you know. Yeah. No, yeah, but the way that like a lot of like anime creators and writers and things like that, they come up with ideas. I again, I cannot imagine them sitting down for an episode or a season of reality TV and being like, that's my go-to inspiration, because I usually go for like classic cinema, like Oscar nominees kind of thing. The thing that a lot of them like to reference is Tarantino. The grip that Tarantino has on these creators is crazy. Crazy. That and like a bunch of like older like psychological thrillers. Like, and I haven't gotten to this part. I don't even know how to pronounce the character's name. But I'm already knowing what happens with her. So like, again, I did get a lot of this spoiled, but it's not I would like context for what I got spoiled, you know. That bomb girl kind of thing. Nobody put in the chat what happens to her, by the way. My boyfriend could be watching this, and he's not at that part yet. We are going to watch the movie. We're gonna watch it, guys. Nobody put what happens in that. Please, please, please. I love your vids, big fan from Germany. From Germany. Oh my god. Thank you so much. I did not know that my videos were making its way to like Germany. That's kind of crazy. Huh. But hey, I appreciate it. But people were saying that like one scene specifically with that character was based entirely off the guy from No Country for Old Men, something like that. I don't know, the crazy dude. I did not finish that movie, not because I didn't want to, but because like I kind of just got bored. I was like, I should finish it, but like, I'm forgetting the name of the character. But he's played by Javier Bardem, like great actor, by the way. He's super great. I love him. But yeah, based entirely off of a scene in that movie. And then a bunch of scenes could be based off of shit from American Psycho. A lot of things. One character, again, I'm not that far into Chainsaw Man, based off of not Jules, Vince, Vincent Vega, something like that from Pulp Fiction. So anything like Tarantino and anything like psychological thriller, that's going to end up as like a form of inspiration for a plot or a certain like scene. Like yeah, that's what tends to happen. Whereas it's the opposite here. Like really, they love to take inspiration from like different kind of anime, but specifically anime movies. Like guys, because it's good. Like God, it's so good. I love Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue is a great movie. Oh my God, I wish I wish I was in my 30s right now, because then that would have meant, no, not 30s, 40s. I was in my 40s right now, because that meant I could have been around for when that movie dropped. Like I would have loved to have been one of the first to have seen that shit in theater, like cinema. Really, it's so good. It's so good. I need to find something similar to that. Like that movie did. I need to find another movie like that, like with the same kind of feel to that. Oh, but I like how this is a completely different like topic change. Um that's not um I don't think Fujimoto was sitting down tuning into an episode of Baddies South, but that would be fucking great if he was. Matter of fact, anyone that's thinking about um to my Japanese creators, writers, illustrators, if you are thinking of coming up with the fucking manga, right? I need you to watch Baddies. I need you to watch an episode of Baddies. Yes, I do. I do. There's another one where they just be fighting. They fight. I love that. But to a point it gets excessive. And like on that other show that I'm thinking, I'm not remembering. The fights, there are a lot of them, but like they're genuine fights. You know it's really bad when they're encouraging fights at the auditions for Baddies. What's that about? You know, like it gets boring because it's not real beef. That's like, I want Natalie Nunn to give me a ticket. I want the camera focused on me, so I'm just gonna beat a bitch up right now. Yeah, it gets boring. It gets to a point. But yeah, I need them to watch an episode of Baddies and like kind of be like, oh wait, that's we're basing this off of that. That would be great. Yes, yes. Hold on, y'all. I have the worst phlegm, and I'm gonna mute for this. This is yeah. I respect you guys too much, so you don't have to hear that. That was gross. That was disgusting. What I had accumulating in here. But I know that it's all worth it, because that just means the sickness is passing by my body, and I will be okay in due time. Oh, I just thought about something. But then again, this show it takes a lot of inspiration from like other kind of pieces of media. I in 2021, I was watching Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot is such a great show. I will never watch it again. I'm kidding. I've been thinking about watching it again because some of the plot lines are kind of like falling out of my head. Um, you're ill. Get well soon. Thank you so much. It's at least it's not like how it was a few days ago where I was waking up with like full on body aches. I just have a sore throat and I shouldn't be singing, which is such a burden because I love to sing. So it's like I just have a lot of phlegm and a sore throat, but like I'm good and at it. So I'm getting better, but thank you. Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot was such a good show. I don't care. Nobody could take that from me. What is Sam Esmail doing now? Like, what is he doing nowadays? Like, where is he? Like, where's your next piece of work? Like the guy who wrote Vince I feel so disrespectful not knowing the name. Vince, is it this guy? Yes, Vince Gilligan. Vince Gilligan, Breaking Bad guy. He has made so many things, has written a lot of things. Yes, in connection to Breaking Bad, although I don't think I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. Is connected to Breaking Bad in any way, but like everything that was made like Breaking Bad wise is such a banger. It is so good, but he's made so much, and so now I'm thinking, where's Sam Esmail, the guy who created Mr. Robot, which by the way, top shows ever. It is so good. Oh my god, Mr. Robot is like BoJack Horseman in a way where it's like I cannot watch this show ever again. But like I'm gonna give both shows another rewatch because I feel like I'm in a better space now for that. So Sam Esmail, that's kind of crazy. When I think about Sam Esmail, Mr. Robot, about heard of it. This guy, he works played by Rami Malek, so you already know you're in good hands with talent. Works for this one company. And oh my god, why can I not sum this up? Works for this company and they're involved in a lot of deeper shit. He has DID. Damn, I really cannot remember more about it. But I just know that's one of my top shows ever. Again, we'll never watch it again though. Specifically, I feel like if I really go into like the show and what it's about, that already gets really spoilery because a lot within the first season, a lot happens. A lot of shit happens. And everything that happens is it's like in spoiler territory. Like there's so much happening within the first like 5 episodes and then some. Like every episode there's something new. Something fucked up happens in every episode. And before anyone says anything, it's not like one of those shows is like, oh, they just put upsetting shit for the sake of putting upsetting shit. Not for the sake of it. There's not reason, but like it just happens, okay? Tyrell has not had the best life at all. Like he was dealt a horrible hand, which for reasons I cannot get into because if you do plan on watching the show, that would be a spoiler, a mega spoiler. In fact, me saying, no, that's not a spoiler. His dad died and he's really trying to like for some time getting to the bottom of why like that happened, but again, I cannot say more. Because that goes into immense spoiler territory. I went into that show completely blind. Someone had recommended that show for me and they ate with that. So I'm promising I might give it a watch. I will say though, it is a dark show. Every time that I like recommend something to someone, I'm like, this has this kind of thing in it. I should put a warning there that it does get pretty dark, very fast. So you know, most dark later on. So now that I know that we have people who haven't watched it, I'm not gonna get into it. Such a great show though. Like I saw an interview with Rami Malek in the mornings and all that. Thank you for the heads up. Yeah, no worries. I saw an interview with Rami Malek where he was being interviewed at TIFF, the film festival kind of thing or awards. I don't know what that is, but he was being interviewed for the movie that he came out in 2025, literally, and I didn't hear about it, about Nuremberg. So the first thing he says, "Do you remember Mr. Robot? Do you?" Don't even play right now. Do you remember this award-winning show that I was in? Of course. What the fuck? It was such a good show. It was such a good show. Oh my god. There's a lot of shows that are really good, like so good. I will never rewatch them again. Succession is one of them, though. Succession is one of them. It's like, damn, I did not think that I would ever feel any kind of sympathy for the 1% of people in the world. Like the rich people, like extremely rich people. Succession is so good. Succession. I met the guy that plays Kendall Roy. That is forever, my man. I love him. He takes that acting shit so seriously, and I cannot have anything but respect for that. And it's like, if you're going to dedicate your life to something, not only be good at it, but take it serious. And I'm okay with people taking it seriously. I'm okay with people not taking it seriously. Like, but the way that he does it is in such an earnest way. And I feel like people that think that he's like so pretentious about it, I feel like you've just never had anything to be passionate about in your life. And I mean that in the most insulting way. There will be nothing that will ever make me hate Jeremy Strong. Of course, unless he does some heinous shit. But like, Jeremy Strong is one of those actors where it's like, I just know you are so earnest about it. And he's just great. I met him 2 times now. It was really just one time that I met him, but like it was at different times of the day. So the purpose of me going to New York in 2024 was for me to go see that play and to kind of get a feel of the city, because I wanted to move to New York, but that's not happening. That's not happening. But if the opportunity, like if I ever made it big enough in like theater to like do something in New York ever came up, I would not say no. And I would stay there for the time that I was needed. Like there's no way. I love theater so much. I love performing. But anyways, so I went to New York and we saw the show. But the day of, me and people I met off of Twitter, by the way, which by the way, those are like, we're like this forever. Like they were great. By the way, this is not me advocating for, staying at a hotel with strangers. I just got really lucky that I attracted really amazing people there. Shout out to Al, Nat, and Adri. Like wonderful people. Wonderful people. My Salvadorian sister, my Mexican sister, and then my Mexican in spirit Jewish sister. Yeah, all of them. I love them. And Adri's friend that came with us, I think her name was Tala. All great people. All great people, Like I have heard horror stories of people meeting up with like with people they met up online. Worst case scenario. Like at best, in terms of bad experiences, one of them was insufferable. But at worst, they end up in a dreading video, which I really did not want to do. So, but the point is, we went and we saw him there. Like we went to the at the end of most shows, he would go outside and sign the playbills, sign whatever they had. And I had 2 things I wanted to get signed. First one was I'll show it to you guys. Again, this is like my biggest like flex kind of thing that I own. Back. Good Lord. Where is it? I can feel it. I know that this is not it. Where is my book? It's right here. It is right here. Okay. So the first thing I wanted signed was a copy of this play called The Great Godpan by Amy Herzog. This was like, he was the original actor for Jamie and the first Broadway play that he was in. Okay. So I got that signed. Are y'all seeing that? That is Sir Jeremy Strong's signature right there. Okay. So I wanted that signed. 2 p.m. matinee. I hope you know. I really wish I had elaborated more about how good this play was, and like just based off of the clips that I've seen of his performance online, he really did the character justice. I wish that in my brain, I had been able to get those words out, but I didn't because I was so nervous. Like that, I was in the face of the man who made me like realize I probably should major in theater. So, like, it meant a lot to me. You know, I did not get those words out though. I looked so stupid. But then we didn't go to that performance, but we went to the evening performance, and then I got this the gay playbill signed. His signature is, good lord, can I focus that right up there? That's him. So great experience. Yeah, he made Succession especially more difficult to watch because he had like such a way of making Kendall Roy feel like a real human being. And which, yes, actors, that's their job, but given we know who Kendall is, like, and who his family is, and how desperately he kind of like he doesn't want to be associated with that, but he does, and you know, you really can't play both sides there. It was just very human. Like it, like damn, I really felt bad for this person who could, you know, just really tear down my family's homes if he wanted to build something there. So yeah, great show. Amazing show. Jeremy Strong deserved an Emmy for season 4. Matter of fact, I am very bitter. I am very bitter about award season. You know what? Enough time has passed. I can say this. I can say this. You know what? I feel like me wanting Jeremy Strong to have won an Emmy for season 4 of Succession was just because of me, you know, being a fan of his, really, and like really liking his acting, all that, you know. But when it came to Oscar season, when he was nominated for playing Roy Cohn in The Apprentice, which is a movie, it's a biopic on Donald Trump. Yeah, it is a bit odd that they decided to make this when Trump was actively in office and not, well, obviously not dead. It was a good movie. I liked it. I'm sorry. I liked it. And I liked it a whole lot more than the movie that Kieran Culkin was in. I don't have an issue with Kieran Culkin whatsoever, by the way. I don't like that I cannot say this and then people will assume that I have an issue with Kieran Culkin. I don't have an issue with Kieran Culkin. I don't. What I do have an issue with is category fraud. And again, I can't help but sounding like a hater when I say this, but again, he did not need to be in the supporting actor like category. He had as much screen time as Jesse Eisenberg, who was the lead in that movie. And by the way, the fact that Jesse Eisenberg didn't get any nominations, it's like he didn't do I think he did pretty well, and like he did good. He did good. And again, which is, I don't know how people feel about Jesse Eisenberg as an actor, but I've whenever I hear about him acting, I only see like one other performance get praised the way that I think, you know, he did in A Real Pain, and that was him playing Mark Zuckerberg, which is kind of playing like not himself, but a very kind of like an archetype near and dear to him, which is kind of like a snark asshole, you know, that's like very monotone and stuff like that. But that wasn't really who he was playing in A Real Pain. I think that one was more, again, he wrote the movie and directed the movie, so that was more dear to him. But I feel like he could have still gotten a little bit of praise for his performance in that. The praise, though, was focused entirely on Kieran Culkin, who had as much screen time as him and had as much an impact as him. Like, there was no movie without Kieran's character. A lot of the movie is about these two brothers that are connecting, you know, by visiting their grandmother's home in, I believe, Poland. So that's, in my opinion, within the realm of being a lead role. I feel like Kieran should have been nominated in the lead actor category, but no. He was in He was in the supporting actor category, and I already knew. I already knew that Jeremy Strong was not taking home that Oscar. I knew. I'm already knowing. But on most notable award shows, to be honest, they make less and less sense as the year go by. Yeah, that rings true, especially when you take into consideration that Emilia Perez got as much praise as it did. And you want to know something? If you're going, if you're putting a movie out like that's set in a specific country and you can't even cast actors from that country because no one matches the talent necessary that is required for the roles. First of all, I don't even think that you actually scouted there. You probably just like had like a very obscure kind of thing. Like you didn't really send it out to many agents in Mexico because a lot of good actors are Mexican. I think most good actors are from somewhere in Latino America. So, I don't think the best of the best are in the United States. I truly don't believe that. And I feel sorry for people who do. So, just the fact that that movie received so much praise, given that, and the fact that the actors themselves couldn't take like a single bit of Duolingo lessons or Rosetta Stone. Like, you guys have the money for Rosetta Stone. Nothing. And to add insult to injury, I am like 90% sure, as someone who, speaks Spanish fluently and has been exposed to different kinds of Spanish all around the world. Again, a lot of the Spanish in the movie is supposed to be like Mexican kind of Spanish and Spain Spanish, which I've heard, they do not have the vernacular necessary in that movie, in the script, to pull that off at all. At all. The way that they speak Spanish is exactly how Google Translate speaks Spanish. So I'm 90% sure that that's exactly how they got their Spanish. They just put a script that they wrote in French, okay, because these people are French, put it through Google Translate or ChatGPT or something, and decided, there you go, that's your script. Please read. Really? Are we dead ass right now? And of course, there are not two. There's one Latino and then a Spaniard in that movie. Carla Sofia Gascon, which I don't even want to get into really. Her as a person, but so she's supposed to play a Mexican and does not do a good job at it. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. And again, yeah, what does someone born in the States know about Mexico? I know a good amount. I know a decent amount. Considering the fact that if I did not know Spanish, there would be no communication between my father and I. Just put it like that. My dad knows a bit of English now. He did not years prior, so I had to learn that. So I think I have pretty decent level of authority to speak on the Spanish that was used in the movie, and that does bother me. It does bother me because they are portraying people from Mexico. Zoe Saldana is Latina, but she's Dominican. She's not Mexican. And I mean, that's fine, You could still, do a little bit of research though. Like, I don't know. And I hate the crocodile tears from Sophia. I'm thinking of Carla Sofia Gascon. Selena Gomez. The crocodile tears about, we didn't have enough time to learn. You didn't have enough time to learn like via like a 10-minute YouTube video or something. You don't know any Mexicans in your life that could have advised you on how you could better do more justice to the script. You didn't know that? You know so many fucking people, but none of them were like a Mexican from the motherland to tell you how to fix your Spanish? You didn't know that? Oh, okay. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry if you're settling on a Disney Channel actress that has not been a legitimate project since Spring Breakers, or maybe even only whatever that show is on Hulu, Murders, and I don't know. And you're saying that you couldn't find any talent in Mexico that met your requirements? There's something wrong up here. Are you a lobotomite? Like, I don't know. That's who you decided had the talent profile that you required. That's some bullshit. Oh my God. I will forever be mad about it. Oh my God. And the music? Do you know how much that movie pissed me off as like not only someone who's Mexican American, right? But also someone in musical theater? It was so bad. Oh my god, it was so bad. I do have a video on YouTube breaking that down if you guys want to give that a watch. But no, it was really bad actually. It was so bad. I had no words. Like at first I thought like it can't be that bad. There's movies that I've seen people say are like they're so bad. I can't even watch it. For example, that one Adam Sandler movie, Jack and Jill. I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about this. I do like that movie. In fact, when I was younger, I used to love that movie. That movie is so funny to me. Then the random Jared Fogle jump scare in that movie, it's crazy. But yeah. So I thought it was gonna be one of those, but like for a drama. But apparently, like when it comes to dramas, when someone says it's truly bad, it is truly bad. I did not think that so many groups of people could be disrespected in this way. A lot of people who are in the trans community said that this movie was a huge disrespect to it. Considering that none of it was like satirical, like the sex change operation song thingy, that would have worked in a satire, but this movie was dead ass. This movie was unfortunately so serious. Mexicans, which we already know. I didn't hear much about Spaniards. But musical theater people, that shit was such a disrespect. Oh my god. No one was singing. Oh, the musical talents and the songs. I can't wait to hear someone sing though. It's been an hour and some change. When are people gonna actually start singing? They were talking at me. And I feel and no politic here, no politic here, but like that scene with the Israeli doctor was the worst kind of thing ever. Oh my goodness. I genuinely I don't know how they let that shit happen. Like nobody in that creative process wanted to be like, guys, let's just scrap the whole fucking thing. Let's not. And I can't believe that it actually received the amount of praise it did, which is why nobody takes like critics' reviews seriously. As it is, like people who are like film critics, like they had like a reputation of first of all favoritism and second of all being extremely pretentious. That was incredibly solidified like by Emilia Perez. It was so bad. Oh my gosh. My goodness. When I've seen musical movies before and I've seen some really good ones. Like I'll give you an example, Little Shop of Horrors. This I'm not gonna glaze the Sweeney Todd one. It was fine. It was fine. But again, I don't think Johnny Depp can hold a single note. I don't know why he was in two Sondheim projects. Um I don't even think he did well with the acting. Well, except for Sweeney. I'll give him that one. But when he played the wolf in Into the Woods, I just like, why are you here, bro? No, you're not him. You're not. Both were fine. I think Into the Woods was okay, but then James Corden, like great. Johnny Depp, who is not a musical person or a theater person at that, and now James Corden. Yeah, whatever. What is another good one? A good one. Okay, so Little Shop of Horrors. What the fuck? Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is great. This a good movie, okay? I'm not counting the Hamilton one though, considering that is just a filmed, like a pro shot. It's literally a pro shot of a Broadway show. So I'm not counting that one because that's still a stage thing. There was no like set designs. It's literally just them like performing on stage and recording. Gotta go to bed now, but of course it was lovely hanging on stream. Have a good one. Thank you so much, and hope you sleep well. This is my minimum for diversity. Get praised for it pisses me off so bad. No, yeah, that whole thing with the diversity, they never play it off well. It pisses me off too. Oh my goodness, wait, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really think there's many like good musical to movie kind of adaptations. Ooh, good lord. No, I feel like there is. There has to be. Hold on. Let's see. Grease is fine. Okay. In the Heights was okay. And then you get something like Evita. Evita's was such a disrespect. Why did they have Madonna play Evita? Madonna can't even. Madonna couldn't even hit the notes for. They had to lower it down drastically. And then on top of that, okay, they lowered the notes so that it could fit her voice, which whatever. Y'all didn't just want to like CGI Patty LuPone or something? Like when did this movie come out? Movie came out in 1996. CGI probably wasn't even a thing back then, or maybe it was, but it was really bad. Because she would have been about 47, but like y'all could have given her some makeup or something. She could have probably still hit those notes. She was on Broadway hitting those notes. And if not, you could have literally gotten anyone else. But no, they chose Madonna and they changed a lot of the score and it sucked. Why was Ava singing Another Suitcase in Another Hall? I don't like that. I actually detested that. That was really bad. And then hearing a New Argentina, so that was bad. And I thought Evita, I thought Evita as a movie like was horrible, and like as a movie musical. And then Emilia Perez happened. And it's like, you know what? Evita, the movie is actually not that bad. It is not that bad, actually. It was horrible. Because at least in Evita, like the movie, at least there was still singing. And then in Emilia Perez, there was none of that to be found. So I don't know, man. I don't know. The scene with these, again, that scene. That might be like the third worst thing to come out of Israel, really. That entire scene. Like that scene should also be in discussions at the UN. It was so bad. It was actually horrible. Really, it was not good. Whoever was playing that doctor should be exiled. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. This was Gilbert Outdoors. I used to try doing it. I don't have the facilities for that though. Contrary to the belief of the right wingers that enter my comments and they're like, "You are a man." I don't have the facilities for that. I never did. But sometimes I was like, women could do anything though. So like, I could do this. I could learn this skill. I'm not gonna do that, guys. I'm not doing that. He's standing up like a man, though. I've heard of men that pee sitting down. I didn't even think that was possible for men. But a change in topic. No, because I really did spend a lot of time talking about Emilia Perez. I just have a very deep dislike of that. I really hate it when people who have no education on musical theater or anything music related decide to dip their toes into that and then not put any effort to actually come out with something presentable. That is where the problem lies. And again, Selena Gomez is a singer, but there is something completely different about singing, like commercial pop, well, most pop is commercial, but whatever. And then doing something as grand as musicals go, so that was not good. I can't. Like it was really bad, guys. It was really bad. I can't believe I even wanted to give it benefit of the doubt. Like I think that's why I'm mostly upset about it. Because I really did was just like maybe people are just blowing it out of proportion. Nope, they were right. They were right. It was really bad. Yeah. God. I need to get better immediately. This rant made me want to start auditioning again. I need to be in shows. I need to perform. I need to have something to do. Like immediately. Oh. No, it's yeah, that's really all I have left to speak on when it comes to whatever I just spent the past 2 hours talking about. Oh my god. And I said I was only gonna be here for like an hour. That was a lie. That was a lie. Anyway, I'm gonna head out now to get started on dinner. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. I hope that like, you know, I can take the time to like do more stuff like this, and because this was fun. I like talking. Okay. But I'm gonna head out now. So thank you for watching.